Alright, I thought I'd go live on tape here. 1st of July. Uh, got a lot to talk about. It's been a few days. I put together an actual episode of Scenes from a Life. I got a new iPhone. I got an iPhone 7S. So I went to Brooklyn on Tuesday and had a whole. You'll see it in the episode, so I'll probably talk about that stuff, I guess. And I felt like, I don't know, I felt like kind of weirdly sick, but not sick. I don't know. You know how, like, a lot of times when you're sick, you can almost feel like the moment you start to get sick, you start to feel like almost like a little, like, piercing in kind of like your sinus or something. And you're like, oh, fuck, I'm going to get sick. I kind of had that moment yesterday. I was doing my laundry in my bathtub. I don't know. I got inspired. I thought I'd try it. It was 90 fucking 9 degrees each of the last 2 days. And so I thought, well, I'm not carrying my laundry. I need socks. I need underwear. Like, I'm not even, not to TMI, but I'm not even wearing underwear right now because I literally was completely out of socks. So I was like, okay, well, let me try this. I've heard you can do this. Let me Google it. So I don't know. A lot of times in the morning I'm feeling productive, and I Googled it and it said it wasn't that hard. In fact, it was so easy, you might never go to the laundromat again. So I did my laundry in my bathtub, and I don't know. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I had that experience, but I'm not sure if I'm going to continue. I don't know how certain things turned out well, I'd say, and then other things. And I think I got sick because maybe I was doing my laundry, right? And so I have all my dirty clothes in my bathtub, which, I mean, that just doesn't really feel like the greatest. I mean, the fucking article said to do it in your kitchen sink. It's like kind of gross. I don't know. And it's like, what about the lint and shit like that? Like your fucking laundry thing, your washing machine's got a lint screen and shit. Your dryer's got a lint screen. So I did it anyway. And anyway, so I'm doing it and it takes a while. I'm like, you're supposed to like stir it, but it says you can just use regular hand soap. It said use pumping foaming hand soap. So I thought, oh, I've got that. I don't use it cuz it causes kind of a reaction on my skin. It's too like intense. There's just like a bunch of chemicals in it. So I think I maybe just had a bad reaction to, like, I think I'm just having like an allergic or like an irritated reaction to that. And I mean the weather's been hot, and also I cleaned the bathtub with like this cleaner that has bleach in it beforehand. So maybe there was some element of that involved. Like it's completely credible and likely, in fact, that I'm not sick. That just like my sinuses. It's like I feel like it's a little bit like an allergy. Like I don't really feel. I've been waiting to like get sicker, and like like I said, after that moment where you first feel sick, it's usually like within a few hours that like, okay, I'm tired, my head hurts, fever. I'm creating more mucus. That hasn't really started. It's still just like, it feels like a little bit like every time I swallow, like I've got some kind of like sore throat type thing. But other than that, I feel totally fine, really. I was kind of tired today, and I went to sleep early last night. But I mean, I have been going hard the past few. I mean, especially Tuesday. I did a lot of stuff, and it was 99 degrees, and I was just walking all over Brooklyn, and I felt fine, to be honest. I felt great, really. At the end of the day, I mean, maybe that's just because I was in Ohio last year, and Ohio's like, because it's landlocked, I think it might be, the heat might be more humid and kind of thicker there. It's honestly, it's better outside than it is in the apartment right now. Like, the apartment kind of traps the warm air. It's hard to get it out, because I don't really have any fans really that much. But outside, it's not that bad, to be honest. Like, so I was all over Brooklyn. I'll talk about that. So I don't know. I don't think that I've got But I'm also, I got some texts from friends today, and it was just like, I kind of was like, well, I was anticipating that I was going to get sicker, or I would either wake up this morning and I'd be sick, or I'd feel fine. And the thing is, it's already over 24 hours later. And I don't really feel sick. I just kind of feel like I said, so I don't know. Doing the laundry in the tub, I don't know if I'm going to do it again. In fact, the real problem was, and of course this is obvious, is drying the shit. You need like a laundry rack to dry that stuff, and I just kind of ran out. So I had all my stuff hanging in the bathroom from just like every conceivable thing on the shower. I had it hanging in the shower from the soap thing. And, the bathroom's small, the window's not huge. It just traps the kind of moisture, so the stuff didn't really get clean. It didn't really dry, even overnight. So now it's kind of like crusty and like, it's not like mildewy a lot, but I don't know. It could probably stand to be washed again, but I don't know. Now I'm just kind of like, I feel so traumatized by that experience. It was hard. The water was hot, and it was so hot outside in the bathroom, steamy, and I'm just like, I'm wringing out, these clothes, and I fucking cut my finger, kinda. And I was going back and forth and like eating, but I'm washing my hands, and then I'm eating like chips and stuff, and I'm going back, because you're supposed to move the clothes around every 3 minutes or something. So I don't know. Putting all your clothes in water, it's like, yeah, you're just all the germs are just sitting in the water. Of course, that's not sanitary. I wish I would have thought more about that as I was doing it, but I'm a fucking idiot. Like I said, I don't really feel sick, but we'll see. I don't know. Who fucking knows, man? Well, the other thing, okay, I saw today, this guy on Instagram who's actually the editor of fucking On Cinema, weirdly enough. He was in my UCB class a while ago, and he's the editor of On Cinema. So he works on this show. He had a post on Instagram about him and his partner are fully vaccinated. I think they got the Pfizer or the Moderna, probably the Pfizer. They got one of the 2-shot vaccines, and it said they both, I think, tested positive for coronavirus, even though they were vaccinated. And he got pretty sick. He said he was pretty sick for like 3 days, which leads him to believe that he may have gotten more sick if he hadn't gotten the vaccine. But it was just a post kind of warning people, like, hey, there's breakthrough infections. The vaccine is no guarantee. Like, be careful. I haven't been totally behaving with abandon, but I have definitely been in some situations that are like risk situations, being in bars with tons of people, being in doing the reading, not a lot, but definitely more than a handful of times. So people have to be careful. The more you can just do shit outside. And it was dumb of them to stop telling people they could stop wearing masks, because we knew this was going to... It's still a problem everywhere else. And we know about this Delta variant, and that's just how the pandemic has been the whole time. It just kind of... They have it under control in one place, another place it's out of control, then all of a sudden it's out of control. The place it was under control, and this place that was, has got it the lowest rates, and like that's how LA was. They had the lowest COVID rates recently after, 6 months ago. It was the worst. So it wouldn't be a surprise if it comes back, and who knows what degree. and everything gets called off again, we are in this little valley or, I don't know, window of time where we can just sort of pretend that life is normal and travel. A lot of people are traveling. And I don't know. So, yeah, I've got a number of things. I'll talk about all that stuff. But first and foremost, I did want to talk about, because yesterday was a kind of a, I don't know, just like a not a great day karmically, and just indicative of, even though we got rid of, what's his name, they're still just horrific. So yesterday, I didn't even know that this was like in the fucking realm of possibility or in the cards. But I guess with our legal system, you never know. Cosby got released. His fucking, whatever it is, conviction got thrown out or overturned or something. It's just absurd. I'm not even sure what the fucking, how they did. I think it was some kind of legal, the trial. I don't know. I didn't read that much. But like I said, I didn't even think this was really in the realm of possibility. I thought Cosby, that was just like settled a long time ago. Like, this dude was going to probably, spend the rest of his life in jail, probably. I mean, he doesn't look good, man. His eyes are kind of going, so that happened, and then the same day, Britney, she was trying to like free herself from her conservatorship. I don't really understand this, but it seems to me from what I heard on the radio was just like a lot of men are making all the decisions for her in her life. Her dad basically has legal jurisdiction over everything. She can't leave her house. She can't go anywhere without telling people where she's going. She wants to get married and have a baby. That's the thing she kept saying. I want to get married. I want to have a baby. I want to get married. I want to have a baby. And they won't let her because they just make her perform all the time because they need money. Just like with Elvis. It's just like what happened with Elvis. The Colonel needed to make a certain amount of money, and so they just had him perform all the fucking time. And drugged him up and did whatever it took. And Britney, it's the same thing. She's in Vegas. She's on tour. She said she's tired. She wants to get married. She wants to have a baby. She wants to retire from show business. But her dad won't let her because she's got to make money. And what the fuck? She's an adult. Maybe this is some kind of child star remnant thing. From my understanding of the Britney story is her mom was kind of the one who went to New York with her, and like I don't know. I guess I don't know that much about it, but apparently her dad is her manager or something, and has total legal. How can that be? She's an adult. This guy controls, like, she's got a forced IUD, right? They force her to have an IUD. There you go. This tells you everything about this fucking country. It's just not a bad time to leave. I'm watching. It's just a good time to leave. It's like the Biden era, however long that may be, will hopefully provide just a little bit of a window of opportunity. Get the fuck out of here before the real bad shit happens, which, it'll just collapse on itself. Well, I mean, the laws are just medieval. Like, what is this? Fucking, so it's the same day. Cosby gets let out. Britney gets denied her freedom. They force her to have an IUD so they can control whether or not she gets pregnant. Denying her choice, basically. And I don't know. I do think that it's like Britney, and I've Britney is a corporate product. Like, I don't think, like, she's got some good tunes, sure. Britney's whatever. She's just like such an MTV, like, she's part of the body shaming white supremacist thing. But people my age or younger have a certain affection for Britney, and she does hold a special place in people's hearts. And not to generalize, but okay, I think about, right, and this was kind of a paparazzi thing before she kind of, and I mean her punk rock thing was just probably the ultimate. Like, Britney is a freedom fighter. This is what I see now. She is kind of a revolutionary. And when she shaved her head and went after that paparazzi with the umbrella, I really didn't get it at the time. But oh my God, what a cry. What a cry for freedom and revolution, and just destroying her image. Just absolutely destroying the product that they made of her. And all the things that and acting out against the prison that her life became as a celebrity. And as so with Britney, right, there was a period of time, probably kind of around the Paris Hilton era, the Misha Barton era, kind of maybe when the OC was on, where the paparazzi, right, they just followed certain people every fucking place. And there were all these pictures of Drunken Night Out where they're like in an SUV and they're like going to some club in LA or whatever. And famously, the paparazzi caught a number of pictures of Britney where she was like getting out of cars, right? Or getting out of a limo or whatever, and she doesn't wear underwear sometimes. And so like they had pictures of her. And this became the pop culture appellation, the term. It became, you could see her Britney. And girls started to kind of refer to their own personal private parts as their Britneys. I think that's indicative of like the importance, the central importance and the kind of symbology and the essence and what Britney represents kind of has as an essence, or as a kind of entity, or cultural totem. My Britney. She was number one. And not necessarily because of, like, Christina Aguilera, right, is probably a better vocalist or singer or whatever, just technically. She's got a better range. How long have I been? See, I am feeling like my mouth is feeling like I need more water, and I am feeling like kind of sick. I don't know how long I can actually talk, to be honest. Now that could be like a chemical. But I'll go back through the steps and we can trace it through. So Britney, I mean, her songs still, like, she was number one. She kind of hit first. Then the rest of them were kind of imitators. I mean, they were all part of Mickey Mouse Club and shit, so like they all knew each other, and I'm sure it was arranged. See, that's why I don't have total, like, reverence for Britney. It's like she's part of this pop machine that just, like, really poisoned the psyche of our generation, and they won't let it go. Like, the values are different than, let's say, whatever happened, like, with teen idols and shit in the 50s or 60s or 40s. Like the 90s and TRL and Britney doing Pepsi commercials and shit. Like, she's cool. She's got great songs. She knows how to make a fucking great song. She's an icon, there's no doubt. And I'm not trying to, like, talk that down or something right now. Like, that's why I'm exploring this, because it's like she maintains continued relevance And as we've seen, much like Elvis, like remember her performance at the VMAs where she was just like totally doped out of her mind. It's like this is because she's controlled. This is because her parents have control over her, her dad, whatever. She can't live a normal life. That's not just celebrity. I mean, she is one of those people that's like so goddamn famous. Like, there's not that many people that are as famous as Britney. Really. Truthfully. Like, Bieber, how many people are that famous? Beyonce, maybe. Like, uh, I mean, Britney is on the level with Madonna, with Elvis, with anybody, you know. um, and like we still listen to her songs constantly. Toxic. I love Give Me More. I love when that song came out. It is peculiar to me though how people hold so closely and express themselves through the pop culture plastic really of their youth. That's nostalgia. It is like a biological thing, but Britney is a goddamn human being. And look at they were saying on NPR that her lawyers and the judge like talk and like make decisions without even consulting her. It's like all these men that are deciding things for Britney, and she'll say shit, and she's like, it just felt like they didn't even hear me. She just feels it's like this is Britney Spears for Christ's sake. I don't know where this is, if this is a California court or a Louisiana court, but she's been fighting for this for like you know years and years and years, and like it probably is one reason why she's not necessarily able to do her best as a performer. Or she puts out good songs, I gotta say. I mean, I don't know about recently, but it does seem like I said with the Give Me More thing, it was like that was kind of after her real public prime, but she was still kind of putting out good stuff. So it's like I got to imagine that Britney could have like a really nice, peaceful life where she's just like allowed her own freedom. She could have like a nice place to live, maybe some nice land or something, some animals, eat healthy organic food, and she could kind of choose to tour or perform as she liked to. I don't know. What if you're somebody like that, what interest what is Britney interested in life? Like, how does she want to spend her life? How does she want to spend her time? What are her, not even necessarily hobbies, but like passions? Does she want to perform? She says she wants to have a baby. Yeah, exactly. There you go. You know, I mean, just let her take the IUD out of her for Christ's sake. How absurd! How are these men forcing her to have an IUD? It's absolutely medieval. On this day in America, Cosby goes free, convicted of raping like 30 women, drugging them. Just a total insult. I don't know. I mean, is that purely just a fucking a pop culture affectation, the Britney thing, like this affection that smart girls. I mean, I guess women are smart enough to realize that like they're all in it together. They have to all be on the same side against men. And so these court proceedings are kind of important precedents and thresholds and whatnot. And to be honest, I feel like when people do start to pay attention and talk about it in social media and pile on, and public awareness builds in that way, it does cause shit to change, to be honest. Like, the more people, there's been a lot more people talking about freeing nonviolent offenders with drug offenses, people in prison. That's something that I feel like through social media, you've heard people say that, and it's become something everybody goes, yeah, what the fuck? Why don't we do this? And so I think with Free Britney, it's becoming, it sounded like sort of just kind of a pop culture kind of punchline joke thing. But now as you start to learn more about it, you're like, Jesus Christ, like, look at this. Like, this is patriarchal. This is like, Britney is just like their property. She works for them. She can't make any of her own decisions. Like, she was, what Madonna would be the kind of first MTV kind of icon of, at least for women, and kind of a groundbreaking, and Britney being maybe the carrier of the torch. I don't know. What are the messages of Britney's songs? Hit me, baby, one more time. I'm losing my senses. Hit me, baby, one more. Or what's the, there's one that's like sad. My loneliness is killing me, right? This is like a meme now. People block it up. My government is killing me. That's like the meme. My loneliness is killing me. Give me a sign. See, that's kind of more what the song is about to me. Loneliness. How the loneliness is killing me. Hit me, baby, one more time. Like, I don't know. That's just like the phrase. What was her song in the Melissa Joan Hart movie? It was sort of like, hit me, baby, one more time. That was the one that's like, ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Of course I love Toxic. That was my favorite. And you still hear that song all the goddamn time. And it just absolutely is a club banger. Beautiful. I don't know. She's great. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll talk about... Is Britney like the Che Guevara? Remember how every fucking guy had the Che Guevara, like, t-shirt or, like, keychain? That was, like, a thing that everybody knew and talked about. And as far as I can tell, it just, like, disappeared. That fucking red... it was like most people probably thought it was Jack De La Rocha. It was, like, kind of a Rage Against the Machine. I think maybe they had it in one of their albums or something. But it was Che Guevara. It was sort of the Shepard Fairey Obama stuff. Kind of was like the Che Guevara. It was, you could tell it was sort of maybe copying that iconography or whatever, hagiography. But everybody, that was like such a suburban, just like Gulfview Woods, suburban subdivision kids with the Che Guevara t-shirt. The Rage Against the Machine suburban kids. But Britney, I don't know. You can make a Britney meme, I think. She is... like I said, the thing where she shaved her head in the umbrella, I didn't get it at all, but I look at that now, and I think that is just like... That's like performance art. That's like one of the most incredible things, I think, of the 21st century, frankly. Is there a comparable example of a celebrity on that level just like completely destroying their public image? Which, Britney, it's like she's blonde, She's hot. I don't know. She's Britney. And then like I can't think of another icon that just like fucking like destroyed the masterpiece. Like, and it was looked on like some kind of public relations implosion, or just like, oh my god, her career, she's lost her fucking mind. What the fuck happened with Britney? And I look at it now and I'm like, she's sane. She's sane in an insane world. The world is upside down. Britney's the only one that understands. She's getting so fucked over and manipulated by so many people that here she's fighting back. Look at how ferocious. Look at the spirit of this person. Like, god damn. It's a powerful, and just like, I do feel like in a certain way Miley Cyrus is almost like a facsimile, like a media, like her whole career is almost like a riff on that moment, but like a polite, like packaged, like corporately friendly, market friendly kind of commercial. If the Britney thing was like kind of this ugly like theater of the absurd, like, you know, Artaud, like antisocial vomit at, you know, the hypocrisy, the machine, the butchers, the meat packers, the image supremacists, and Britney just destroying it, destroying the image of her as some wholesome, smiling Sinead O'Connor. You know, she's like Sinead O'Connor shaving her head and just wearing she looks super butch. She was wearing like a fucking like gray like hoodie and like gray like white shorts. She looks super like a, you know, queer butch kind of and she's a socialist, I guess, right? Britney, that's what I heard. So she's a comrade. We need to liberate Britney. It's our responsibility. I don't know. Maybe I am sick. I'm feeling like suddenly, I don't know. It is like really hot in here. So that kind of like just like aggravates the nervous system. But anyway, so Tuesday, right? I don't know. Monday night, it's just been a continual thing because I've been doing these videos and I'm just like, you know, I just need to be able to film shit. Like, this is out of control. Like, the fact that my iPhone camera is so fucked up, and like I'm living this life and I can't film any, like, I need to be putting this shit on TV. Like, so I'm just like, I just need to get this done. I jumped on Craigslist. And I was looking for iPod Touches and iPhone. I really, you know, iPod Touches and iPhones, basically. So I found an iPod Touch 7 or third generation or something. I don't remember. It was $100, and it was like somewhere near here. So I messaged them. I was like, okay, let me just do this. $100, no big deal. And then I found another post for an iPhone 7S, which was also $100. And the guy posted it was only for Boost Mobile users. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, I actually do use Boost Mobile, so maybe I could even use this as a phone. Like, it's in great shape. The difference is the iPhone is bigger. The iPod Touch is like the size of the iPhone I have now, which I actually prefer. I don't like how big this phone is, but it is what it is. Like, it's an improvement, really. But it's nice to be able to have something real small and just, like, you know, it's with the filming and stuff too. It's not quite as in your face, but the fucking camera on this thing is incredible. It's got like some kind of dual lens thing. So I'm just like, I want to upgrade to the best thing. If I can get some really, I like the iPhone image, and I want to just be able to shoot with what's on me. So this phone that I've got is kind of, I mean, you've seen it. It's on its last legs. It's just destroyed. The screen is destroyed. So even if I can upgrade this to a phone, that would be useful in and of itself. I mean, the camera. So I went to Brooklyn because the dude was in Windsor Terrace, which, like, okay, that kind of, it is what it is, you know. Like, I just had to get this done. It was like, it just was such a good deal. It was like perfect condition, $100 for a phone. I read some review that said it was one of the best point and shoot cameras ever made. So I was like, I can't go wrong with this, right? I just hope it's right. Even though I'm kind of like, well, should I get the iPod Touch? Because I've always used iPod Touch to film scenes from life. And so I know what I'm getting. And I kind of, I don't know, just have that kind of like superstitious connection to it or whatever. But anyway, I don't know. I just decided to go get the one in Brooklyn because it's a phone. And the Boost Mobile thing, I was like, this is probably a good sign. Like, I have Boost Mobile, so I can use this as a phone if, you know. So anyway, Tuesday, it's 99 degrees. I tell the guy I'm going to meet him at 2 o'clock, which is like the hottest part of the day. So I just did the dumbest thing possible. But anyway, I'm wearing this exact thing. I'm totally out of clothes. I take the train to 15th Street, right in Park Slope. It's just so ironic because when I bought the original iPod Touch for Scenes from a Life, I met the guy at Madison Square Garden in Penn Station. He was from Jersey. I paid $150, and it was like his kids. And he just was selling it. And now I live in Chelsea, not far from there. Then I lived in Park Slope, so I took the F train from here to Madison Square Garden, met the guy, bought the iPod Touch. That was 2014. Now I live in Chelsea. I took the train to fucking Windsor Terrace, about the exact same distance, same neighborhood basically as Park Slope, to buy this fucking iPhone 7 years later. So I'm hoping that so anyway, so I go out to Brooklyn and meet this guy, and he's super nice. He wants to meet outside, which I'm totally fine with. So we meet outside, but then he kind of sees that like I'm cool or whatever, and like he doesn't need to worry. And I forget why. I asked him about the SD card because like I knew I couldn't use the SD card from the phone I have now, and I didn't want to buy a new one. So like, and so I'm testing it out, and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, you know, and it looks good. It's $100. He looks like a really professional guy. He's like a speech therapist or something. He's like, he's got an, you know, he's just like super professional. He's like, yeah, come inside. We'll charge it so you can see it charges and blah blah. So I go in. He's got 2 kids. His kids are there. I'm just recounting this because like, I don't know. I don't think I got sick anywhere, but his kids were fine. They didn't seem sick or anything. He didn't seem sick. He was a super nice guy. And he said, you know, if it doesn't work or whatever, he'd give me my money back, you know, if something's wrong with it. So I left there, 99 degrees, and I'm like thinking, I'm in Brooklyn. I want to go to a Nameable. So, you know, it's 99 degrees. I'm walking around with testing the phone. You'll see it in the episode. And there is kind of like an issue with like every time like I take a step, the camera like kind of like goes in and out of focus a little bit, which the old iPhone or iPod Touch didn't do that. I don't know. I mean, I did buy it primarily as a camera, so if it doesn't work for that, that is kind of a problem. But if I could use it as a phone and it's a good phone, and I have to buy some other camera, I mean, this will definitely do a good job. So I shot an episode, basically. I walked around Brooklyn. I walked through Prospect Park. I walked through, you know, I went to Nameable. I went to here and there, you know, filming shit. Hung out in Prospect Park for a while. I hadn't been out there. Have I been out there this year? I'm not sure if I've kind of been in the area. I think, yeah, because I went with the girl I was seeing. We went to Prospect Park. We got Hankos and went to Prospect Park. But it's just nice. It's just a nice park. It's a beautiful park, and I don't know. It's just a beautiful place. So, I don't know. I just wanted to get this done. Like, I'm sick of not being able to make these episodes. It looked, I mean, the thing is in perfect condition. He gave me a case and a fucking screen protector. He's like, oh, let me get you a screen protector. So, like, for $100, you know, it's definitely, I think, gonna be worth it. So then so I went to Unnameable. I got some shit. The woman at Unnameable was like kind of sniffling, and I was like a little bit like, because I'm still wearing mask in place and I'm trying to be careful and, you know, I definitely don't want to get sick. But so then I get on the train, I take it back because I want to go to this reading at Bryant Park. So I go to this reading at Bryant Park. I take the F, or no, I took the Q from 7th Avenue stop, just north of the park, like on what is that, Flatbush or whatever. And then got off at 34th Street and walked from there. Walked up 6th Avenue to Bryant Park because there was a reading outdoors. Even you know, and I'm like checking the whole time. I'm like, oh, it's 99 degrees. Are they going to cancel this reading or like, because it's so fucking hot. I mean, I got a fucking, so we get like a message yesterday that's like, try to turn off your air conditioners if possible because we don't want to. There's a potential for power outage. It's like, are you fucking serious? Like, tell some of these goddamn office buildings that are empty to turn their shit off. Tell Google to turn their fucking shit off. You know, their Bitcoin or whatever. Like, we're the least fucking offenders of who's using the goddamn electricity. It's all these big buildings with tons of fucking air conditioners on the roofs and central heating and cooling and shit. They're like pollution factories. So anyway, I'm walking around Brooklyn. I'm seeing, well, yeah, I don't know. Like, on the train, they have these fucking Google ads that are poems. Because poetry's in now since the inauguration. And just, you know, I think social media kind of like encourages sort of lyrical mode and the mode of poetry, solitude, but like public solitude and sharing your solitude. So Google has co-opted the force and the magic of poetry with these ads for Google Wallet or something, which is like cashless, basically. You know, they want everybody to go cashless and just pay with Google Wallet, you know, which is anti-homeless, it's anti-poor, it's just the fabric of society, the exchange of money. It's one of the things that tangibly binds us. You know, it's one of the things we give to strangers, give to us. You know, it's a common circulating. Maybe I'll just write poetry on dollars. You know how they have that stamp that's like, find a George or whatever the fuck it is, and you go to the website and you see where the money's been. Maybe I'll write my poems on dollars. Just so they're circulating. They're out in the you know. It's one of the things in our society that does that. I think that's cool. But Google wants everything to be cashless. They want everything to be credit. And it's easier to rob people that way. If your money's invisible. And so anyway, they've got all these fucking poems that are like about receipts and shit. Like, oh, I lost a receipt to... well, this is the other thing that's tied to it that I want to attack. Is foodie culture. Because it's innocent. Everybody thinks food culture is like this, oh yeah, like everybody loves food and like, but it's like, it's one of the prime, maybe even the prime, kind of just like vapid wedge and an occupatory anchor of gentrification is like just like these restaurants. Because when the tech people move in, that's all they fucking care about, literally. Like they bring in all of these restaurants that are expensive and just bland and suited to their tastes. And it just kind of gets this pass, like Foodie and Bourdain. You know, okay, Anthony Bourdain, it's cool that he went to different cultures and he brought that into, like, that is all. Like, I think he's a cool guy, right? But just the kind of, like, God, like, sanctification of Bourdain, and, like, he's kind of like the Ramones of fucking whatever that is, rock and roll chef. And the food, as you know, food seems like this innocuous thing. It feels like this, like, service industry, but it is a way of colonizing, and it is a way of imperializing. You bring your food in. The poor people can't afford this shit. I know I can't. Most of the restaurants in this neighborhood I could never afford to eat at. There's a few places, luckily, because there's an economy for it, because there's housing projects around here and shit, and some rent-controlled apartments. So there's some poor people, so there's an economy for that. They haven't been totally priced out. But most of the restaurants are sort of like high-end price point for tech people, where money's not an expense. So the kind of people who are like, oh, fuck, I need a receipt for, like, you know, the $400 I spent on lunch for our meeting or whatever, because we have expense accounts, and that's how we keep our money from going to the government. we spend it all in the service economy and create the service economy. You know, that's like the only choice the rest of us have, is to be in the fucking service economy for the tech gentrifiers. I mean, of course, like Brooklyn, Jesus Christ. There used to be more interesting restaurants. You know, the East Village, 6th Street used to have all these Indian restaurants. There was this place, Spice Cove, I loved to go. They had what they called the Obama Special, which was a lunch special. It was $5.95. You got soup, you got a gluten-free, nice crispy bread thing. You got choice of entree, like chicken korma, whatever, and then a banana pakora for $5.95. Like, literally. And the restaurant was gorgeous. Tiny space, beautiful decorations. You go and you'd spend $8, and you could sit there for a couple hours. That was in the East Village. First time I went in there, I just thought it was magic. It's gone. That place has been gone for probably 5 years or something. Probably since Trump got elected. Even though they were making fun of Obama and shit on their menu. The East Village used to have way more cool shit. That Odessa Diner, of course. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's countless fucking examples. But it's like I talked about last time. Now it's all these fucking Grubhub style places. Seamless. Even the fast casual in entree is like $12. So this fucking, you know, like these poems in the subway, like they're all about like the fucking like receipt and shit. Like, oh, I lost, you know, how am I gonna? I can't even. But it's like sort of pseudo. I mean, there's like a haiku one that's all about with Google Pay. I can scan my phone and I ride. You know, my pants pockets are too small for a subway card. With Google Pay, with Google Wallet, I scan my phone and I ride. It's like, God, who are the fucking soulless copywriters who are selling their goddamn souls to eternity to write fucking poems, to go cashless, so we get rid of all the homeless people? We make it illegal to be poor. You have to have Venmo. You have to have a phone. You have to have the app. You have to have a phone to be able to pay for shit. You have to order everything online. they just feel like the tech people feel like they don't get any. They feel like they don't have any guilt or shame. They're just the most let them eat cake. They're all they do is go out to fancy restaurants. They're eating sushi at Burning Man and shit. So that's what I was reading as I'm taking the train back over the fucking bridge to this reading at Bryant Park. I'm reading the fucking Google poetry ad, using poetry to sell their surveillance police state encrypted crypto bullshit, basically. And then the other thing is like, okay, in Park Slope, right, it's a lot of families, it's a lot of kids. So they have all these places. I see this one place, it's like some kind of art. It's like on 15th or something, up by 8th. And I'm like, oh, this is some kind of cool art, like center or something. It's like funky. It's like hand painted. And I go, and of course, it's like for children. Like everything in Brooklyn is like, pottery for children, or like a daycare where like the guy like has a guitar and it's like music lessons for your kids. A lot of musicians I knew did that. They taught kids music stuff, or they taught in schools in Brooklyn. They'd play guitar in some kind of daycare or something for little kids. There's a lot of like preschool. But point being, like, you can see tons of these art kind of organizations. It's all for kids. They promote being an artist a lot of times in children in a way that when you're an adult, you're not really as supported. Like I thought this was like some cool public art space, like some kind of community center where just like people can go and there's like music and I don't even know, studio or something. It's like, no, this is just like, it's a business. The way they make money is like rich people live in Park Slope. They got to pay for their kids they want their kids to be like creative and shit because they're full of shit like that. They want their kids to listen to Baby Mozart and go to like, theater summer camp or some kind of, enriching thing, and to be artists and to be fancy like that. So they have, there's all these like puppet kid theater stuff. I don't know. I just wish there were more. I wish there was opportunities like that for adults. Whereas an adult child, can I go to a theater summer camp? Or why can't we just have like a storefront as a community gathering space, and we can do readings there, or a little open mic, or. So then I go to this reading in fucking Bryant Park. And it was great, honestly. It was Dawn Lundy Martin read, who I'd never heard read before or seen before, and she was incredible. I really responded to her reading. And then Wayne Kalstenbaum read. He was great. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't really even that freaking hot, to be honest. I mean, I hadn't eaten because I thought, there's this great Vietnamese truck over by Bryant Park, usually on 40th Street, Nikola Tesla Way. And I didn't eat at Hanko's in Park Slope, which was right by the park. I could have theoretically gone there because I was like, oh no, I'll go to the Vietnamese food truck by Bryant Park before the reading. It's cheaper. It's my favorite place. I don't go up there that often. This was the first time I'd been in Midtown, like, in a few weeks at least. So I thought, okay, I'm going to eat at this place if I'm in the neighborhood. I don't go up there that often. And so I didn't eat all day. I was out in the sun. I had like one thing of water basically. And I walked across Prospect Park and all over that part of Brooklyn. And it really wasn't that bad. I felt good. Even so, when I get to the reading, the food truck, of course, is not even there. So I literally didn't eat like the whole fucking day. The reading's great. Where did I end up eating? Oh, I went to this great, I don't even know what you call it, but it's in Koreatown or whatever that 33rd Street off Herald Square. It's incredible. If you're ever in New York, absolutely go to this street because it's amazing. And they have all these great karaoke places and restaurants and So this one place I went, it's like all the food is made already, and it's like sitting out. Maybe this is why I got sick. It's like sitting out on these shelves, and you just pick, you pick it, and you go and you pay for it. So I thought, that sounds, I don't have to order from anybody. Nobody has to make anything. I'm just in and out. And it was affordable, totally. I got this really great, it was like a bulgogi maki roll. And it did have Connie in it and like an egg thing that may have had a gluten or dairy, who knows. But it was delicious. So that was only $8, and it was like a big roll with a lot of pieces. So I definitely recommend that place. I don't really know what the name was, but very interesting. It was a different style, almost like an automat or something, I guess. But that's one of the cool things about New York is that's not that far from my house, 12 blocks or something. So I stopped there. I ate on the patio. That was cool. And then I came home. Did anything happen that night? Oh, I started to put the episode together, so you'll see it online. If it hasn't premiered yet, it will. And I don't know. I'm starting to just like trust myself more. I'm not self-conscious about like thinking about what I need to do to make something like super have people like it. I just kind of know what I want to do. And I think it's interesting to do it this way. And so, like, with this episode, I wanted to put a new one on TV because I haven't really gotten to make... I mean, I made some episodes when I was back home with the camera that I had, which were good. I'm definitely proud of them, but the camera just stopped working. So I really haven't made an episode hardly in a number of months. And even, before that, it had been years. Literally, when I moved in with Sarah, that was basically when I stopped doing it. So I'm trying to get back in the habit, and I think the episode turned out well. But incorporating things that I've, particularly the pandemic, ingested about YouTube or just filmmaking and art in general, like I'm starting to just think about it more like, well, I'm an artist. This framework is what I'm positing. I'm going to follow that. Here's my ideas about how it should be. And if you want to, I don't know, like with the show before, I was always trying to force it toward like some nebulous idea about people liking it or it being like commercially viable and like short for the internet. Everything on the internet's got to be short. You got to shorten everything. You got to edit stuff so it's quicker and shorter. You got to explain everything. People aren't going to follow the story if I don't do narrative, and I can't have long takes. And the thing is, like, when I was watching it recently, I just cut way too much. I almost wish I could put everything back in that I cut to save time. And so now when I'm doing it, I don't want to be as in your face with story and constantly interrupting to tell what's happening. I want it to just be what it is. And so I put together an episode 27 minutes from the day, which of course, I never would have done that before. I would have made it into some 5-minute truncated, succinct, punchy, internet friendly thing. But it's like, I don't really think that, I don't know. I don't think that's not like a across the board truth or anything. If something's shorter, letting something play longer. First of all, with YouTube, there's no reason not to. They let you upload whatever the fuck you want. So you might as well make a half-hour long video. Like, nobody's watching it anyway. So nobody's watching it, so I'm just going to make it the way that I want to make it, basically. I think I'm going to sit down. It's been an hour. We're an hour in, folks. Let me move the camera as well. So, the fuck was I talking about? Yeah, I want them to be more like the ambient filmmaking stuff, the walking videos. I think just showing New York and just walking around New York and allowing there to be that silence. I think that's beautiful. I mean, that's one thing that I've with my show maybe particularly, but also with my writing, like my process is basically just like whatever idea I have at the time about how to make it, I do it immediately. So like before it was succinct, packaged, edited, like recounted, narrative, very narrative, trying to make it make sense for people, trying to bring people into the interior situation, the specifics, as if that were to make the footage more accessible, make the story deliver some kind of feeling. And it's not like I'm trying to keep people out of it or something, but I don't know. I think I am trying to be a little more chill, maybe. Like, I think if you just kind of let things play and just kind of let things be. Like, that's one with, like, my readings recently, right? Like, partially it was because of playing music, but also just insecurity. My readings became super, like, high energy, emphatic. I'm smoking and toking a lot. And now I sort of realize that it's actually just nice to just have somebody read it in just kind of an even keel way. Like, I don't know, with Hannah, right? Reading with her, it's like her work really worked in front of people. She read it and it worked. My work kind of works in a different way. There's not quite as much like. I think it's nice to listen to. If I just read it, it's just nice to listen to. It gets annoying when I like try to get in your face with it. When I'm like trying to like, okay, I gotta like be in fucking crazy spiritual mode, or I just get caught there or something. I'm afraid to like lay back. You know what I mean? It's like you have to overcome and go after the audience before you get overwhelmed and you get lost. I'm so afraid of losing the audience. But I don't know if that's even possible, to be honest. I think, God, look at what audiences are used to at this point. There's almost nothing worth seeing. So I'm learning to like, and plus I'm just getting more relaxed, especially after the pandemic and just, well, getting older. In a certain way, it feels like something has crested. I don't know if it's like my dreams or my personal goals in life, but like something feels different in that, I don't know, it does feel like something's already over almost in a way. Like something in New York, maybe even. Like the scene that I'm a part of, or, particularly that thing that Eileen Miles said about when they die, there'll be two left. It just kind of made me feel like, well, there's kind of some truth to that. I don't know, like, not like that New York is dead or anything, but it does feel almost like wherever the world is heading, this way of life is probably not. I mean, the glory days are behind it, I'd say, probably. It's hard to say what the conditions will be going forward, if it will invite some kind of new renaissance or some kind of new scene. But for me, I feel like I'm getting in on like the tail end of, and that I don't mean to be negative or like, or doom saying about it, or say bad, or or even verbalize that, but I want there to be a scene and or a nurturing structure, and New York has absolutely been that for me. But okay, I don't know. For one thing, like coming back to the city, I thought, I don't know, I'd meet new people that would like reinvigorate. I don't know. And it feels more just like I'm back in some old thing that's like way over. You know, the life that I pictured or imagined or romanticized myself as wanting to have coming back has not, in certain ways, like, right, like certain amazing shit has happened. Totally. Everything I've done with poetry and live stuff, I feel like very proud of, and like has so been so fulfilling and thrilling. But what's missing is just like a social element, to be honest. Like I was picturing more of like I was watching this uh thing about Beyond Baroque, weirdly enough, the other night from Hammer Museum. They're doing a great retrospective with Dennis Cooper was on one, but this one the other night was Tosh with this guy Jack Skelly and David Trinidad. I wanted to see because David Trinidad was on it, talking about their time at Beyond Baroque. And they were talking about how Dennis Cooper basically like created this scene. He brought these people. He said, I want you, basically, he more like said that, I want you to be a part of the scene. And he kind of put this group of writers together at Beyond Baroque, you know. And I think that's definitely happened at like the places I'm involved, but I just feel left out of it. You know, I've always been kind of isolated loner doing my own thing, but you know, with the Slooge, it felt like suddenly we had this collective, we had all these people with somewhat of a like mind. I don't know, it just felt right. It felt like everybody actually got along in a weird way, even though necessarily maybe, I don't know, politics or manifesto or anything may have been wildly, if you asked people, but as far as just like the biome and the mechanics of how it actually worked, it felt just natural. But that's not to say that's an exclusive thing. You know, in my experience, you know, you can get camaraderies and like a workshop. I'd love to get a workshop going on in my apartment. I'd love to have, you know, 4 or 5 writers over and workshops and stuff. Like my friend Hannah does all these workshops and like, sorry, this is so gross. That element has really been missing for me. The people that I thought I would get excited about me being back and who I would reconnect with, I haven't connected with at all. And I don't know, I haven't really been doing that much with other people in general, to be honest. So I'm trying to like start a new thing and like kick it up in a certain way. I feel like I have, but I also just feel like, well, I'm 36. It's kind of my second time around at least. Like how long? Well, particularly like right with what, like parent stuff. You know, my parents are getting older. With the pandemic, did that just expose the rat race and the competitive kind of attention based? Well, particularly the idea that you have to be located in one of the big cities. And in fact, is it a detriment in a certain way? Like, uh, as far as resources, facilities for just like making content, and also, I don't know, sensibility of the people who make content here. You know, it's kind of like a Vice. There's a vibe. It's kind of self-serious. It's kind of like hung up. It's kind of like Mac DeMarco meets, you know, super woke All the dudes are like Mac DeMarco. And I'm a part of that, definitely. But it's also just feels like, I mean, I don't know. There's just something, it just feels overwhelming to take on some kind of long or big project here would feel like, with a lot of, like, doing a movie with like a lot of actors, or like trying to write a long thing. I don't know. Like, that's one reason my work has become so immediate and so like piecemeal and of the moment, because in this city, the life just takes you so many different places, so hard and so rough, that like you just kind of have to go with it. The idea that there's going to be any kind of stability, or also just like space and emptiness for like ideas to develop. The sense of time here feels, it's not like it was in the 70s, where it was like some kind of ruin or something, empty, and buildings are burning and there's no air conditioning and your apartment costs $100 a month and time just goes on forever. Now it's like everything moves fast. There's smartphones. Everybody's attention is super broken up and pieced out, and emails, texts, Twitter, working all the fucking time. Everything's expensive as hell. Go, go, go. Hustle, hustle, hustle. So I don't know. I'm trying to fucking. It's like one. I'm building, but I mean, I was realized today I've been here 4 months. March, April, May, June. How fucking crazy is that? It really doesn't feel like that. It feels like I've been here like 2 months, maybe. A month and a half. But I've been here 4 months, so I'm doing the best I can to take advantage of this opportunity, but time is running out. I've got 1.5 years left, theoretically. It's not that long. So I've done 4 months of 22. 18 left. That's not that many. And then what? I have no clue. So I've got 18 months to become a huge success, or else. I don't know. It's also just like, am I going to move back to Brooklyn? Being in Brooklyn, I love Brooklyn. It is my home. I feel like I love it there, sincerely. Like, the people are smart. It's a beautiful place. It's comfortable. I love it here, obviously, as well. But the populations are vastly different. The people that live around here are way different. Like, I've gone into it a lot, obviously. For instance, so there's this fucking, I talked about the Aesop soap, right, the other day, and how they were having their book giveaway. And I realized there's an Aesop soap right around the corner here on 9th Ave, like literally right around the corner. I walk by it every day and look in, and it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. And so I'm walking home the other night, and I look up, and I notice on their ceiling they've got this fucking display of all of these, I see it's like a Paris Review, and they're all hanging from the ceiling by like this fishing string or some shit, and it's like they're all kind of like contorted and like molded and sculpted. I don't know how they're held into place or how they did it, but almost to look like they're like a flock of birds, or like the ceiling is sort of like departicularizing and like flying and floating. So I'm looking at it because they're closed, right? It's Aesop soap. It's like 9:00 when I get home. And I'm like, oh my God, like the whole fucking, there's 100 books in this fucking display. They're all copies of the Paris Review. There's like copies from like the 60s and shit. I'm just thinking, oh my God, they destroyed these beautiful, you know, antique vintage copies of the Paris Review. I mean, those copies from the 60s, I can't imagine there's that many left. And they're, you know, the Tom Clark issues especially, I'd love to have. And this soap company, allegedly, they're using literature and they're using kind of like high-minded values, smart people. Everybody wants to be smart. We all wear glasses. Warby Parkers. And, or Oliver Peoples. And here they are, completely defamating, desecrating, destroying these beautiful copies of the Paris Review. The very thing they're, you know, propounding to, professing to propound. So that kind of incensed me as I was walking home, of course, to see all these beautiful Paris Reviews that are just part of this fucking display for this goddamn yuppie soap business. I'm not exactly sure what Aesop, what their deal is, but that's when I was walking home. Did I do anything after the reading? I think I went to the store or something, maybe. Oh, yeah, I got this guy's fucking... I was talking to fucking cashier at Trader Joe's, right? And he asked me something, and I started talking about this, and I was like, what did you ask me? And he's like, I had my books, because I bought these books at Unnameable, and I went to the Brooklyn Public Library, too. So I had these books with me in the cart at Trader Joe's. And the guy was like, what books do you have? And I was like, oh, you know, it's this and that. And he was like, telling me about how he made a book. He, recently. He said he went to all these fucking printers in Manhattan. And I don't know where he lived. I think someplace uptown. I think in the Bronx, maybe. But he said he went to all the printers in Manhattan scouting to see who had the best deal to print this book. And he said it's like a compendium of New York rappers. He said it's like all of like New York's best young rappers, A to Z. This book. They're like pictures of these guys. So he said he got it published at some place in Soho that used to be the Petland building. And he said it was like $2 something and change an issue, which for like a full color thing, that's pretty amazing. So I'm definitely going to look into that. That's cheaper than that Lulu.com was that I used. So it was just amazing to hit on this subject. This guy's like a bookmaker. It's like, that's something I'm doing. That's something I'm trying to do for... God, is it too late to do it for New York Poetry Festival? Maybe. Got 3 weekends. Would they be able to ship the stuff that fast? I was going to make my own books mostly, probably, rather than ordering stuff. Although I could probably get more money. I've just been... not lazy. I don't know. I try to embrace the deliberate pace at which I do things. I take things as they come. I don't like... I mean, I could have ordered books by now. I could have. That's true. Is it too late? It's a stupid thing. Partially, I feel weird about selling these books that sort of were written during my relationship. I thought about printing more copies of the France book because I do think it's a masterpiece. And it's not really that much about my relationship, to be honest. It's a beautiful book. It deserves to be seen more. The other one is a little bit more personal. That would be a little weirder to sell. So, I don't know. It's kind of too late, but maybe I'll look into that. Anyway, this guy at Trader Joe's gave me his email. So I'm going to email him about asking him. He was going to give me the info about what printer he used. So that's a huge help, you know, because that's something that, like, that's practical information that I should need to know, you know. So then yesterday, like I said, I fucking got up early and I had the bright idea I'd do my own laundry. And it was so hot and just like, what the fuck, I don't know, did I make myself sick with my gross germs? Should I read some shit? Let me read what I wrote today. It's just so hot in here. I can't even think straight. Maybe I'll do just kind of a short one today because I do have the episode coming. Alright. So this kind of maybe talks about a lot of the shit I just, don't want great genius, want life which is mundane predominantly, but in a pleasant, good way, like sitting on a bench. Do what worked last time. Hyperlink, thinking in hyperlink. Drunken Master. Remember Drunken Master with Jackie Chan? That's my style, Drunken Master. 6:30, Sorcery Grocer. There was traffic due to an accident between Santa Rosa and San Francisco the afternoon of Kevin Killian's memorial at SF MoMA, so we didn't end up going, which is sort of a metaphor for the Trump years. 7-1, King of Baking. There was this incredible show on, I forget, IndieNet or whatever this channel is. I guess it's a Korean. It was like the #1 rated show in Korea in like 2010. It's called King of Baking. It kind of was like a video graphic novel or like a video manga. It was kind of like not like a soap opera, but like a drama. But it almost felt like a superhero. The story, origin story. The storytelling was so like storyboarded and clear. But it was shot kind of before DSLRs, you could tell. It didn't have a lot of it was very much like TV camera quality. Even though it was like a really good movie. It was like actually, that's why I started watching. It was on at 1 today. I guess they're going to show it at 1 every afternoon. So I'm going to be tuning into that. King of Baking. The character's like a fucking chef or something. So it has that super dramatic like chef. But like the chef's a superhero kind of thing. King of Baking. I need outside stimulation. Am I dying? We always are. Should I send that email or get high? My laundry almost killed me. The cherries are too sweet for the cream. I don't care how much it costs. Let's do everything we can to make sure. The Restaurant Symphony Orchestra cheers us with their soft BF reveal. Oboes, bassoons. We'll think of it later. Am I sick? I can't tell. If I were, would have thought I'd be in worse shape by now. Doing laundry by hand, the bathtub becomes a soup of all the past few months' germs. I absent-mindedly am eating and sort of washing my hands after handling the laundry and putting my hands in the water. Or was it the sniffling clerk at Unnameable, or the central air at the apartment where I picked up the iPhone I bought off Craigslist, or simply a reaction to the hand pump soap I used as detergent, which may have sort of gone up my nostrils. The bathroom is small, the fumes hover. It was 99 degrees yesterday. As I'm squeegeeing this underwear, these boxer briefs, socks, tearing open the flesh on my thumb like a washerwoman in the stream, a laundress in the heat at the common water source of my shower. Day before was also 99. I walked through the park in Brooklyn, attended a reading in Bryant Park. It wasn't that bad, worse than my apartment, really. Read how to do laundry by hand briefly on the internet clickbait how-to. It seemed easy, so I tried. Took all day and got me sick, maybe. Plus the socks are still wet and all mildewy. I saved, what, maybe $20 and not having to haul the bag up and down 4 flights of stairs. It was a good exercise. Glad I tried it. Maybe I learned something about life. Now I understand why the automation of these processes quantifies our time into wage. Also saw IG post, guy I know got COVID after vaccine in LA. After a couple hours unmasked in a bar with friends. Think I'm just feeling some overactive immune response to allergic reaction from various overly synthetic cleaning products. It wasn't hard. Now my days are ruined, and all because I wanted clean socks and boxer briefs. Night Hero hidden in the darkness. You can get it all, but you have to order now. Spangles and fingers, legs and feet. Shoulders and vagus feel attacked by the virus. When you learn to sing in church, you have to hear all this crap about God. I learned to shape my personality from obsolete, criminalized fictional modes. Glass of books in Terrytown, cradle of the revolution. This is work, is it? Unpaid labor? Out of the millions come one, out of the one come millions. 11-year-old zoom lens composition, the bread we shape, our inner narrative. Scared of the way it hurt. Focus on the live cell tissue of what was good and what worked. Cut out the necrotic fear and paranoid testaments of why you failed. RV share cutting through Moab, helicopter tracking from behind. Watching the country through my television, go start the car, dripless white dude. A lifetime's worth heteronormative propaganda via media representation. How pop culture is supposedly emblematic of who we are as a society. An engineered vision was drilled into our heads, white guys with guitars and tall, skinny women with ferocious manes of music video quality hair. How do we uninstall this psyop? There is still so much money in Ed Razik telling anorexically skinny models their bodies aren't good enough. Does she play guitar? That's what I want to know. Is Taylor Swift a member of the Communist Party? The Poetry Project is sort of like the Grand Ole Opry of good poetry in this country. I went to the Grand Ole Opry as a kid, 3 or 4 years old, on a trip to Panama City Beach. So young my parents were still married. We stopped into the Ryman Auditorium on our way down, my mom carrying me. I liked this show with a puppet on TNN, the Nashville network. I remember the blue quality of the light, the empty excitement of the historic venue in its sacred off hours. There was a reverence coming from the pews and the stained glass windows, which I would later see again on a cross-country trip in 2013. My mom carried me through the gift shop. It didn't take long, so long I remember it more as an ambiance, a vibe, a mood, a color, a peripheric, a Kodachrome slide spilled on the mirror. A window never faces down. A window's never on the floor. On the ceiling, it's a skylight. Are we the first generation in ages, maybe ever? Majority children of divorce. Now that's a trauma, a family shattering before you even know what life is. Families were absurd to begin with, small tribes of group parenting, a non-monogamous, ethically polyamorous rhizome of consensual sexual partners. Nobody jealous, everybody gets naked and having sex with each other, utterly exploding prescribed norms with revolutionary affection. Plato's Cave is the Heartland channel. It keeps me from my work, which is this. It just keeps getting worse, keeps getting better and better. Lyric video sure burns bright. Mackenzie Work says, everyone in New York City who's gay has a cold. It was just pride. And there's a strep thing going around. Maybe this is a warning to me to be a little more careful. I've been pretty lax about wearing my mask. Reenacting the Normandy beach invasion on Lake Erie. Almost got scared. It was almost like I was in the middle of the battle. Saving the world for tyranny. Thousands come to Ohio every year to never forget. Weed killer paraquat Georgia Peanut Commission. You're watching Heartland. Active sitting. Thousands of 5 stars. It's whisper quiet. The heavens open up. I feel young again. Town deep. You haven't even tried anybody else. I've been trying to try. In the Terrence Malick light, a lucid clarity covering over everything like clean linen. All I do all day is watch country music television. At least somebody is showing music videos. She appeared as creatures of magic do suddenly in the acknowledgments of the book I just bought yesterday, which re-engaged my interest. Should I have gone to the West Coast while I had the chance? Stillness is exquisite, unlike Joubert. Unlike Joubert, the stillness is exquisite in and of itself. My memories of sex with you in the afternoon are vivid, and all I have, hot, lying in a pool of cum on your bed. Somebody comes in the door to your building, a moment's terror and suspense, my cum on your naked stomach, small dark trail of tiny hairs from your belly button down. Is it your boyfriend? The steps go upstairs, past your door. I have nothing on tape, only memories of what used to be. I've never filmed myself having sex, but if I ever get to have sex again, I may try to make a tasteful, artistic, consensual film or video piece about it. I've already been exposed as a hack and a failure, a bad artist. What could be worse? Why not just do whatever the hell I want, do it my way, and be really weird? Hell with it, I'm putting ambiance on television. I'm using my airtime to describe the nothing. There's less story, and I know no people anyway. Use what's natural, that's what works. Britney's forced IUD, Cosby goes free, this country is sick. Child eating towels, whole is our sum, better perks, honored wallet, green credit, far on yonder, the rest is history. Robin's egg, blue shackle, cloudy background, that's some Buddhist said. Between the junk and the highway until I'm blind, moving on the back roads, drip my cup of soup, red fences, porch arches, thank you for coming backwards. Plaid fire, embroidered car phone, talking to little feet, Betty Grable, pleased to know you. 5-foot footsteps inside the sun, bone dry, goose walking. Their resumes matched, both advanced in their chosen profession, their careers dated. Hand-me-down hickory steaks, a day of volunteers, stagehands for God. A great conformist thirst, souped-up prayers, he knows it. There would stand a stranger. Ferns, trash television, time-sharing the cave of dreams. No subscription cost. I'm entitled to an extra $100,000 a month. Dynamite. Who can it be now? Johnny Cougar? I'm not home. This music is the soundtrack to white American death capitalists, murdering planet, oil gouging generations of nations, not building, just destroying, hemorrhaging casualties. It pays for the war. Our debt, which doesn't exist, come and get it. We fly in the gold, here in the third period. The lightning beat the hats. We will check out the diamond. The winner gets a chance at blue light special. The halos have a response. Taps of the horn in the rainy gray street below. Smooth sailing. An intellectual of suitcases and bags, staring out the fern window. The parachute falls, organic come. My home becomes a force for good, repurposing advertising copy. Miss Connie Smith and rhinestones from Central Ohio. Purple curtain fade into smoky chemical pink like genie penis. I'm the penis genius, a house that's looted, ignited and torn apart from the inside. A freeway runs through it. Christmas trees on the prairie. Did the baby ever scream in your mouth like you wanted? These transcripts are marvelous. I existed with you, trying as hard as humanly possible to contact you silently with my thoughts only. The weather in classic rock has quite an effect. It's like watching God make battle plans against humans, attacking us with weather, throwing lightning, red tantrums of anger, pissing and crying, yelling and beating on the attic door of the sky. It does make me happy Axl and Slash smooth things over and made up with the rest of the guys, and Guns N' Roses are touring again. That makes me happy. Guns N' Roses are touring again. Junk trunks take out the apartment next door. 2 black men paid to carry garbage. Racially divided labor market. I hope they are getting paid at least $100,000 for this job on this, the hottest day of the year. Everybody was paying everybody else to be each other's life coaches. It was the only real job you could have, telling other people how to live but not being able to do it yourself. Listening to the rain fall through my kitchen window ain't noise pollution. Guess you had to be there. And then I had a little line about the red-green show. So that's everything I wrote today. I don't know. I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to read what I had written as immediately close as I possibly could to when I had written it. In fact, that's kind of what this is just doing it at the same time. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work. What the fuck is going on with my shutter speed here? Is my picture all fucked up? Do I have too much shit open? I don't know. Maybe that's a good place to stop. I gotta get some food and a Reese cup, and I need it's my new joke when I come home. I need a joint, a kombucha, a blowjob, a steak, a massage, a shower, etc. Ad infinitum. You can add anything in there. I don't know what's going on with my shutter speed here. Has it been doing that? Alright, we'll turn it off. Thank you for watching. Watch the new episode of Scenes from the Life. It's going to be up soon. And it's an actual episode. It's not just this bullshit with me talking forever. Alright, good night.